Was the Holy Grail found in 2008? Many of you know the Holy Grail from different stories, books, movies. One of the most famous books and movies about the subject right now is the Da Vinci Code, where they propose that the Holy Grail is not a cup or chalice like is often depicted in cinema, but that it is actually Mary Magdalene herself. Some of these ideas about the Holy Grail being Mary Magdalene herself stem from a book that was written before the Da Vinci Code called Holy Blood, Holy Grail, which the authors of that book actually tried to sue Dan Brown after him writing the Da Vinci Code, saying that he stole their material to make his book. He ultimately won his lawsuit though, and before the book Holy Blood, Holy Grail asserted that the actual Holy Grail was Mary Magdalene herself, saying that she was actually carrying the child of Jesus at the time of Jesus's crucifixion, and the actual Grail was her womb, not carrying the blood of Christ that was obtained during his crucifixion and shortly after, but containing the holy blood of Christ in the form of a child, a seed, a heir. Some of this comes from a not widely known extra biblical gospel that did not make it into the King James version of the Bible that many of us read now today. And this gospel is called the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Okay, and there's a few key parts in there that make reference to Mary as if she was special, that led individuals to think that she had a type of relationship with Jesus Christ that others did not have. And it was drawn from some of these quotes that helped Holy Blood, Holy Grail, among a lot of other things, build their idea that the Holy Grail was actually Mary Magdalene herself. I'll just give you a couple of examples real quick. In one place inside of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, it says, Peter said to Mary, "Sister, we know that the teacher loved you differently from other women." And I know it seems small and minute, but the fact that Peter is telling Mary that we know the teacher being Jesus, loved you differently from other women, they took that to imply that she was somehow special and on an elevated status, i.e. his wife. And in another place it says that yet if the teacher, Jesus, held her worthy, who are you to reject her? Surely the teacher, Jesus, knew her very well, for he loved her more than us, stating that Jesus loved Mary Magdalene more than the other disciples. But all of that talk about Mary Magdalene and her being pregnant with the child of Jesus at the time of his crucifixion aside, all of that aside, the Holy Grail may in fact be a cup or a chalice, and it may have been found, but surprise, surprise, this Holy Grail appears to be calling Christ a magician. Now, I'm not promoting this information, supporting this information, validating this information. I just thought it was interesting and I wanted to bring it to all of you to let you know that, did you know that something which could possibly be the Holy Grail was found in 2008, a little over 10 years ago now, saying that it's 2019. Here's the story. I'm just going to read the story and you guys make up your own mind. Was the Holy Grail found in 2008? Hotel. Look at this, family. Earliest reference describes Christ as magician. Bold dated between late 2nd century BC and the early 1st century AD. Okay? by Jennifer Villegas. Looks like this was updated October the 1st, 2008. And I believe the find was made in 2008. Hopefully the article tell us. Okay. A team of scientists led by renowned French marine archaeologist Frank Goddio recently announced that they have found a bowl dating to between the late 2nd century BC and the early 1st century AD that is engraved with what they believe could be the world's first known reference to Christ. If the word Christ refers to the biblical Jesus Christ, as is speculated, then the discovery may provide evidence that Christianity and paganism at times intertwined in the ancient world. The full engraving on the bowl reads, Dia Cristo o Goistas, which has been interpreted by the excavation team to mean either by Christ the magician or the magician by Christ. It could very well be a reference to Jesus Christ in that he was once the primary exponent of white magic. Goddio, co-founder of the Oxford Center of Maritime Archaeology, said. He and his colleagues found the object during an excavation of the underwater ruins of Alexandria's ancient Great Harbor. The Egyptian site also includes the now submerged islands of Anthrados, where Cleopatra's palace may have been located. Both Goddio and Egyptologist David Fabre, a member of the European Institute of Submarine Archaeology, think a magus could have practiced fortune-telling rituals using the bowl. The book of Matthew refers to wise men, or magi, believed to have been prevalent in the ancient world. According to Fabre, the bowl is also very similar to one depicted in 2 early Egyptian earthenware statues that are thought to show a soothsaying ritual. It has been known in Mesopotamia probably since the 3rd millennium BC, Fabre said. The soothsayer interprets the forms taken by the oil poured into a cup of water in an interpretation guided by manuals. He added that the individual or medium then goes into a hallucinatory trance when studying the oil in the cup. They therefore see the divinities of supernatural beings appear that they call to answer their questions with regard to the future, he said. The magus might then have used the engraving on the bowl to legitimize his supernatural powers by invoking the name of Christ to the scientists theorized. Weird science. Top unexplained mysteries, Goddio said. It is very probable that in Alexandria they were aware of the existence of Jesus and of his associated legendary miracles, such as transforming water into wine, multiplying loaves of bread, conducting miraculous health cures, and the story of the resurrection itself. While not discounting the Jesus Christ interpretation, other researchers have offered different possible interpretations for the engraving, which was made on the thin-walled ceramic bowl after it was fired, since slip was removed during the process. Bert Smith, a professor of classical archaeology and art at Oxford University, suggests the engraving might be a dedication or present made by certain crystals belonging to a possible religious association called agorastasis. Klaus Harloff, director of the Institute of Greek Inscriptions at the Berlin-Brandenburg Academy, added that if Smith's interpretation proves valid, the word agorastasis could then be connected to known religious groups that worshipped early Greek and Egyptian gods and goddesses such as Hermes, Athena, and Isis. Harloff additionally pointed out that the historians working at around or just after the time of the bowl, such as Strabon and Pausanias, referred to the god Asogo or Agoa, so a variation of this might be what's on the bowl. It is even possible that the bowl refers to both Jesus Christ and Asogo. Fabre concluded that it should be remembered that in Alexandria, paganism, Judaism, and Christianity never evolved in isolation. All of these forms of religion evolved magical practices that seduced both the humble members of the population and the most well-off classes. It was in Alexandria where new religious constructions were made to propose solutions to the problem of man of God's world, he added. Cults of Isis, mysteries of Mithra, and early Christianity bear witness to this. The bowl is currently on public display in the exhibit Egypt's Sunken Treasures at the Matadero Cultural Center in Madrid, Spain until November 15th.